Hello, everyone. This is author, motivational speaker, and dating coach Matthew C. Horn, bringing you a video tonight titled The Sexually Attractive Man, The Foundation. This is part one. I'm doing a full part series on the sexually attractive man, but tonight's title is The Sexually Attractive Man, The Foundation. And it's been brought to you by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life, and my brand new book, How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available at www.matthewchorn.com. And it's great to be back in front of you again. This is going to be some very, very serious game right here. The Sexually Attractive Man, the Foundation. I'm just going to be giving some thoughts and some points of strategy and reference. I'm going to give about 3 or 4 points of strategy and reference to really understanding what a sexually desirable man is. Okay. The first point of reference that I'm going to give is that the sexually desirable man does not put up with her stuff. He doesn't eat the garbage that she feeds to every man that she encounters. He just doesn't do it because that's just not his reality. He doesn't have to. And I can equate this to, when men, I talk to married men, I talk to men of all ages, and consistently they'll say, all women are crazy. You just have to pick which crazy you want to deal with. The happy wife, happy life theory. And these are men who bought the lie that there are not women that like you to the degree that they'll actually cooperate with you and give you a smooth experience. Meaning that that man is giving her that baseline of respect. He's giving her a great experience. He's expressing his interest. And most men are not used to women actually liking them to the degree that they don't have to jump through a bunch of hoops. So you can hear in the language of the average man what his experience is like dealing with women out here that he's interested in. They're feeding them big plates of you know what, and they're eating it. But the sexually attractive man doesn't do that. And let me personify this for you. Okay. But before I do that, let me just give you a more concrete example of this. Okay. I can remember when I was watching The Wire. That's one of my favorite shows of all time. I binge watched it. I've seen it all the way through, probably, I would say 7 times at least. I love The Wire. I remember when it was Avon Barksdale's turn and he was, running the hood in Baltimore. He had his drugs everywhere, the towers, the pit, the low rises. Like, he was the man until somebody came and uprooted his organization. Okay. Now he had his nephew who had been running the high rises, which were the most lucrative part of his drug empire, the high rise projects, and put him down in the low rises. And essentially he had a new crew of young guys that he was overseeing, and everybody's like, "Man, you were in the high rises. What are you doing down here?" And he essentially said, "I got demoted." But since he was who he was, he turned the production around in those low rises in that pit, and he had them boys working. Now, I'm not glorifying drug dealing. This is just the storyline of what was happening in The Wire. So his young boys that he had working for him, they were eating McDonald's. They were sitting on the couch, just serving their drugs, doing what they were doing in the middle of the day. But they were eating McDonald's. And I can remember one of the characters was eating the chicken nuggets. And man, it was like, man, this is amazing. And they were just making all these comments like, man, how did they get the bone out of these chickens? They were just sounding real young and ignorant. But I looked at it and, in Baltimore, there's the harbor, you have your Ruth Chris, you have your numerous seafood restaurants where you can get your jumbo crab cakes and all the crab legs you can imagine. There's a much higher quality of food than those chicken nuggets, but those guys had probably never left the projects. They didn't know what it was like to have a favorable experience and get the kind of food that would take them to a place where they would never look at McDonald's the same. And the same goes for men. Most men are just used to getting jerked around when it comes to women, having to double text them. The girl's not texting you back. You're begging and pleading. I see it all the time, man. Women talk. Trying to buy a woman a drink just to get her time, trying to take her to a fancy dinner just so she'll notice you. Most men are just used to eating big plates of you know what, but the sexually attractive man doesn't do that. So I'm going to give you an example of something that happened recently. Okay. I was out, hanging with one of my boys. I met these two girls, and I was actually walking, and they looked back at me, and I was like, all right, this might be something right here. And when you're a sexually attractive man, that's normal. Women will walk by you, look you dead in your face, and if you all just happen to walk past each other, they'll stop and pause and wait for you to come back. This is reality. I'm giving you reality today. So I ended up talking to the two girls. Everything was cool. Everything was light. My boy eventually pulled up. Energy kind of changed a little bit. Won't go too much into that. But, essentially the girls wanted us to buy them some drinks and, all that kind of stuff. And if you're a sexually attractive man, you present yourself. You don't sell yourself. You don't do anything outside of introducing yourself and giving a good conversation, a good experience. You don't have to buy a woman a thing to consistently kind of get to consistently get the kind of women that you want if you're a sexually attractive man. Okay. So we ended up kind of parting ways with these girls, and I had ended up getting the girl's number, the one that I wanted, right before my boy showed up. So everything was cool, you know. So I hit her up the next day, and I knew that we had a little bit of a text thread because I, sent my name and all that kind of stuff. And the girl asked me, "Who is this?" When I texted her, and I just laughed. I was just like, "Okay, no big deal." I said, "Don't worry about it. Never mind. You obviously, deleted the thread because I saw my name in the thread and all that stuff." And I just left it alone. And so I ended up going back out that evening and running back into the girl again, me and my boy. And I was like, "Oh man, here we go." So long story short, you know, we end up at a part of this venue, kind of outdoors. I'm leaning on the rail, just kind of chilling, minding my business. The girl and her friend walked up on me. And the one that I was interested in, the one who I had texted earlier that day, she rolled up on me hard and was like, "Yeah, I knew that was you earlier that texted." And I was just like, "Well, what was the point of asking who I was if you knew it was me?" You know what this girl said to me? She says, because I say that to every guy, and every guy tells me who they are. Meaning, I feed every man a plate that I meet, and they love it. I disrespect every man that I meet, and they go for it. They come at me harder. The sexually attractive, self-assured man is rare. And so I just explained to her, like, I don't do that. That doesn't fly over here. And I was just like, "Nah, I'm good. You deleted it." And, she was just like, "Yeah, you didn't text me back and this and that." I was like, "Nah, it was nothing else to talk about." And she got mad at me. And then right on cue, this a guy that I know walks up to her and says, "Do you know who that is? He writes books, he does this." And she's like, "Yeah, I know who he is," and blah blah blah. So that made the situation worse for her because you have a high profile guy that you're trying to jerk around and feed a plate of, and he's not going for it. And that stings more than a regular guy not going for your stuff. But a high profile guy, somebody who's a recognizable public figure that you're trying to dominate, control, manipulate, and he's not going for your stuff, that's a gut punch right there. That's a gut check. But that's what I'm trying to explain. And so the girl ended up saying, these men's standards are too high. Peep this. A man that respects himself, that is not going to eat a plate from a woman that's used to getting treated a certain way by weak men. That man, his standards are too high. You can't make this stuff up. This is gold right here in this experience. The average woman is not used to meeting a sexually attractive man. And what made her the most angry was that she knew that I had access to other women like her and that she wasn't special. By my ability just to be nonchalant, be like, "All right, no big deal. We didn't have a spark," and let it go. That's what stung the most. And that's what I'm trying to explain to you all today is that sexually attractive men don't eat her. They don't eat it because they have other women who look just as good as her or better on a consistent basis that are checking for them and they're dealing with them. So that's the first point of emphasis right there. Don't eat the plate of, only if you're a sexually attractive man, you don't have to eat her. That's the first point of emphasis right there. The second point of emphasis is this. Even if you become a sexually attractive man, your mind still has to catch up to that reality. There was a point where I was listening to Will Smith not too long ago, and the man is worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and he was talking about how there were points in his career, and even probably still to this day, where he's hesitant to spend money because he remembers the days where he didn't have it. This man is worth hundreds of millions of dollars, so there's still times where his mind does not coincide with the reality of his situation, that he's rich and that he's wealthy, and he acts in accordance with a season in his life that's no longer there, when he was poor, when he had to watch his money, as opposed to the reality that he can buy anything he wants comfortably 20 and 30 times over. Okay. So I wanted to introduce that example and equate it to the sexually desirable man, the sexually attractive man. You can get in better shape. You can increase your ambition for life and get better results, get more money, get better jobs, get nicer things. You can upgrade your lifestyle as a whole, and you can simply be more recognizable to gorgeous and beautiful and accomplished women. Okay. That typically is what you will call a sexually desirable man. All right. Women see this man and they expect you to have an energy that reflects the reality of how they see you. So a woman can see you as sexually attractive, but if you are a sexually attractive man in theory, but not in reality, then your mind is not going to see yourself the way that these women see you. And that's going to result in you having all of your stuff together. You might be tall, you might be attractive, you might have the right job, the right house, the right cars, go on the right vacations, eat at the right places, all the stuff that these silly women celebrate, right? You might have all of that going for you and still not be seen as a sexually desirable man. And that's why I had to have this second point of emphasis. So that woman, and when you have all those things going for you, and you're still tolerating women's games and power plays and just all the silly stuff that comes with dealing with most women, they look at you like you're crazy because they know that you're supposed to have access to a type of woman that looks just as good as her or even better. So when you don't tolerate, or when you do tolerate her stuff, and when you sell yourself to her and you don't present yourself to her, you offer her dinners, you offer her this, you offer her that, just for her to be in your space or just for you to get in her space. She looks at you on an unconscious level like you're crazy, but she'll take advantage. Definitely. She's there for the ride. She'll take advantage, but she'll look at you as being a lame because she knows that you're supposed to have a better perception of yourself, because she knows the typical man that's out here is a man that she's not attracted to, and she's just going to take him for a ride. He's a placeholder until the man like you comes. He just holds it down so she's not lonely until she really gets a sexually attractive man to come in her space that captivates her, that she desires. So when you're that man and you don't see yourself that way, that's a problem. Your mind has to catch up to the reality of who you are. If your mind doesn't catch up, then you're only sexually attractive in theory and not in reality. But when you become sexually attractive in theory and in reality, you're going to have a completely different type of experience with women. And you're only going to tolerate the women who come at you with reverence, respect, peace, non-combativeness, and just overall, giving you a great experience. That's when you're truly a sexually desirable man, because you don't have to tolerate anything less than that. And guess what? When you're truly a sexually desirable man, a lot of women are going to hate you because they can't play around with you. They're used to disrespecting men, and those men actually come at them harder. But when the woman crosses the line of disrespect and you back away and you say, hey, first of all, I value myself enough not to deal with that. And secondly, I don't have to put up with that. That's when she's mad at you, because she can't dominate you and control you like she can the rest of the men. And it sounds crazy, but everything in this dating game is backwards. All right, let's go to the last point of reference here. The last point, and our last point in the sexually attractive man is going to be your experiences must support your thought processes, your belief about who you are. There's plenty of delusional men who think that they're high value men. They think that they're sexually desirable men, but they don't have the experiences to support that. Let me tell you what the experiences to support that looks like. It looks like this. Not every woman is going to be attracted to you. Everyone, looks are subjective, attraction is subjective. Everyone likes what they like. Okay, not every woman is going to be attracted to you, but check this out. Enough women are going to be very attracted to you. When you're a sexually attractive man, in reality, meaning that your experiences support the belief of who you believe you are, you're going to see lust in women's eyes on a consistent basis. You're going to see women in a group, they're just walking, they're passing guys, and they see you, and all of them look up at you. This is when you're a sexually desirable and a sexually attractive man. This is when your beliefs support how you see yourself. This is when your experiences support your belief. Now, like I said, not every woman finds you sexually attractive, but enough women do. And what I mean by this is that you're a sexually attractive man if on a regular and consistent basis, women are looking at you and moving in accordance with you. These are women you're attracted to, looking at you, moving in accordance with you, expressing desire and moving in accordance with that. If enough women that you desire you to that degree and move that way on a consistent basis, then you're a sexually attractive man. That means that your experiences support your belief. Anything outside of that is delusion. And what tends to happen if a man is not sexually attractive, when a woman is not interested in him, he gets angry. He lashes out. It's an energy that she can feel when she rejects you. But if you're a sexually desirable and a sexually attractive man, a woman can reject you and it's okay because you probably were just hanging with a woman who looked at you like you were the sexiest man she's ever seen in her life. You probably just met a woman that looked up at you with nothing but lust and hope in her eyes that something can be with the two of you. So imagine you have those experiences in one day and then, you're out somewhere, you're just hanging out, relaxing, and you meet a woman who, she might disrespect you when you ask for a number, or, she might give you that, I have a boyfriend line and she really doesn't, and she's lying, and she might just try to jerk you around and play with you, have some conversation with you, knowing that you're interested, and then at the end say, oh, I have a boyfriend, just playing with you, jerking you around and stuff like that. Imagine if you're a sexually attractive man. How are you going to feel about that? You're not going to care. You're just not going to care because you know that enough women find you sexually attractive that it doesn't matter if this woman doesn't. That's when your experiences support your belief. So if you're not having those experiences, it's okay. Just don't call yourself a sexually attractive man and tighten up. Get in that gym, go run, get that fat off you. Keep the right haircut. Wear clothes that accentuate your build. You don't have to be loud with your style, but have a build that where you can wear less and it's fitted. I mean, less is more. The girls are just checking you out. Have the right, ambition for your life. Have the right energy emanating from you. These are all of the factors that go into the sexually desirable and the sexually attractive man. It's really that simple. And I just wanted to make this video tonight to lay the foundation. This is a 4-part series. I'm bringing the heat. This is a longer video. This is about 20 minutes. But listen, I'm bringing some heat. I'm going deep. I'm taking a deep dive into this sexually attractive man because that's the only type of man that has the choice of the woman that he really wants on his terms. Every other man that's not a sexually attractive man has to eat her, has to put up with her games, has to tell themselves that all women are crazy, has to lie to themselves, has to get women at the expense of their own manhood and their own self-respect. You don't want to be that man. Get to the top of your game. And everybody's going to recognize it. And the ones that don't will be irrelevant because there's going to be enough that do. This has been Matthew C. Horn, author, motivational speaker, and dating coach. Bring you another video tonight. The sexually attractive man, the foundation. Tonight's video, once again, has been brought to you by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life, and also my book, How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available at www.matthewchorn.com. Also, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you like this content. Let's keep it growing. Let's keep the channel growing. In addition to that, if you're in need of coaching, if you want to elevate your experiences with the opposite sex, become that sexually attractive man and get into the nuanced approach of how to get you there so you get the experiences that you want to have with women. If you want to become that man, I can offer you some coaching. Email me at matthewchorn23@gmail.com. Also, if this video has been of value to you, if your mind has been elevated, if your thought processes have been elevated, if you have a better grasp of how to become the man that women really desire, if that has happened tonight, my donation information will be in the description. Don't hesitate to send me something. I'm going to keep these videos coming to you. And that's pretty much it. I thank you all for spending some time with me tonight. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. And this is just part one, the sexually attractive man, the foundation. Got 3 more coming for you real soon. See you soon.